Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel for another live show. And we're back again for another match preview ahead of our upcoming game this weekend, of course, against Crawley Town. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a difficult game, not taking anything for granted. And we're going to get into it all this evening. But first, make sure you drop a like on the video if you can, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also become a member of the channel as well. And that would really mean a lot to me to help the community grow, but also to show your support for me as well. So yeah, the link is the pin message in the chat to get your memberships, or below this video, below me, there should be a join button, and you can just join. And also, if you do want to send a super chat this evening as well, would be very much greatly appreciated. Not compulsory, but it would mean a lot to me, of course. And Josh is in early. Hello there, he says hello. Oh, he says I'm here. But look, we're gonna get into it then. We're gonna get into the video there. We're gonna get into the stream as it is. Now, Crawley away then, how are we all feeling? Obviously, Crawley out of let's talk about Crawley first, and before we go on to our perspective. So obviously, Crawley, I've had a difficult start to the season after their promotion to League One. They're currently sitting 21st place with 11 points, winning 3, drawing 2, and losing 9, with a minus 13 goal difference. And obviously, they really have struggled for form at both ends of the pitch. They've scored just 12 goals this season, which is the 4th lowest in the division, and failed to score in half their games as well. While also the amount of goals they've conceded is currently at 25 goals, the second worst record in League One. So they struggle at both ends, as I said. But we should be very wary of them, because they did win 3-0 against Lincoln City, who of course are up there in the playoff picture too, as we know. So yeah, they are capable of doing things in games, but like I say, very few and far between. And obviously they play very much a 3-5. It's a 3-5-2, isn't it? Really, averaging about 60.4% possession this season. Only Birmingham have had more kind of possession there. But they're also very robust off the ball, and with the worst disciplinary record in the third tier, 38 yellows to 1 red. So that is how they are playing out so far. Like I said, they like to play a very expansive game, and like I said, very robust as well in the play. 3-5-2 is their favorite formation. Now their manager is Rob Elliott, who was appointed as the new Crawley boss at the beginning of this month. Not the beginning of this month, sorry, the beginning of October, sorry, following Liam Lindsay's shock departure the week before. Now, Elliott, who was a goalkeeper in his playing days, most notably for Newcastle United, led Gateshead to a 6th place finish in the National League last season, and also won the FA Trophy. So he does have success under his belt. Relatively new to being a head coach though. As obviously Gateshead was his first coaching role after not so long retired from the game. So yeah, he's not been in coaching long. They obviously clearly have something about him. But yeah, let's have a look what everybody else is saying before we get further on as we've used a few comments. Josh is going to Crawley and losing would be two Huddersfield of us. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with it. These type of games are tough route races and we take Crawley for granted we'll get smashed. Yeah, no, I agree. You know, these games, you can't take any team for granted. And the reality is we need to be switched on from the very first moment, and our attitude has to be a lot better. Because if you know, it doesn't matter the quality of players you've got. If you have a real lack, you know, if you have a real poor attitude and you're not winning anything, then you're going to lose the game, no matter who you have in your ranks. Now, a few players to look out for, but first, Junior Quintino is the top scorer for them with 4 goals, but has recently picked up an injury, so he won't be available for this game. I wouldn't have thought. Has been ruled out for a few weeks, but he did get injured a few weeks ago, so I don't know if he's going to be back for this game, but I think it probably is unlikely. But players to watch for me, Hepburn Murphy, who has 3 goals to his name so far, so he's going to be someone to look out for, definitely. Sometimes starts on the bench, sometimes starts games, but don't know if he will start the game, but he'll certainly come on and make some kind of impact if he isn't starting. Now, another player that I've picked out here is Ronan Darcy, who is the skipper. Again, a player that has a few goals to his name too. Playing in that creative role, just being behind the striker. So it will be a danger as well for us. So we're going to have to be switched on defensively. And another player my final player that I think we should look out for is Bradley Ibrahim, who plays in the middle of the park. And obviously, it's going to be an interesting battle in the middle of the park, isn't it, between maybe him and Kasumu for us. So yeah, but I think he's a good little player, and I think he's got something about him. So that's another player that I've picked out. Dark Storm says we can fully focus on the league, so no excuse to lose. Glad we can focus on the league. Yeah, look, I'm not going into the cup situation last week, to be fair, but I don't think people can sugarcoat that defeat last week all they like and say, oh, now we can focus on the league. But the reality is we got knocked out by a non-league side and got embarrassed. It was an embarrassing performance and spineless in every word. So people can sugarcoat that defeat last week and say, oh, at least we can focus on the league now, and that's what you want. Well, that's fair enough. But the reality is you can't sugarcoat that defeat last week. We should still be in the FA Cup. We should not have been turned over by them last week. So I certainly disagree that we can be glad that we can focus on the league. No calling those players. Yeah, well, I've done my research, Dark Storm, so that's why I know. But look, their predicted lineup for this game will probably as follows. Let me just 1 second. So Truman will be in goal, no doubt. Back 3, Charlie Baker, Joy McKenna, and Toby Malaki. Then you've got, of course, Jeremy Kelly, Max Anderson, Bradley Ibrahim, and Harry Forster. And then third forward, Gavin Holohan, Ronan Darcy, and Will Swan. So maybe Hepburn comes into the mix instead, and a few others, but I think that's going to be predominantly the sign to expect. But now, so yeah, I think that's kind of it for their perspective. I've kind of done a little bit of a brief on Crawley, but it is time to switch over to our perspective. But guys, if you're just joining, make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and also become a member of the channel by clicking the join button down below this video here, or there is a link pinned to the chat as well. So any support, any super chats as well, if you want to get your super chats in this evening, you are more than welcome to as well. But yeah, any support to help the community grow on this platform, on my platform here, it would be really, really appreciated. So yeah, Joshua says, evening, Ryan. Hope you're having a great day and hope you're well. Big up to you, Joshua. Hope you're well as well and welcome in. Now, our perspective, look, we need a big reaction, don't we, this weekend? And I do feel like the pressure has been heightened even more after the last week's result, personally, for me. We have to be on it from the first minute. A massive change in players' attitudes, no question about that. Battle for every ball. We need to win our battles in there, win the aerial duel as many as we can, and run hard as well, and show the application desire and pride for the shirt as well, because we were just completely outfought, outran, and outbattled in every department last week. And yeah, we need a big reaction. Make no mistake about that. Now the team news for the game: Josh Koroma, of course, has had a further week in training after being on the bench last week. So he will be really pushing for a start now, because like I said, and like Duff said today, to be fair, should I say, Duff said none of those centre, then striker positions have been cemented. Nobody's took a claim for the shirt and then forward yet in them striker areas. So I think Koroma has every chance to come back in this weekend, and we've missed him, to be honest with you. So it'd be good to see him back. Reece Healy is also an option up front after not being risked against Tamworth. So he could potentially be in there. Anthony Evans is unlikely to feature for this game this weekend because of a toe injury. So he looks like he's going to be out. Hogg has had a slight knee issue and he's also a doubt to face Crawley. But some big news, a big boost as well. Not going to be available this weekend, but Mikael Hellick is back in training, back on the grass following his hamstring injury. It remains to be seen whether he's going to be available in the not so distant future, i.e., in the next week, how long it'll take him to get back up to speed of things, but I don't think he'll be in contention for a play this weekend. I think it'll come too soon, but yeah. Danny Ward has been off sick through most of this week, but has returned and he's expected to be able to work on Saturday, so he's available. As for the ongoing issues that we have, obviously at the moment, Joe Hodge, they expect to keep him out until later this month, early December. Sorensen is expected to miss around another month or so with a hamstring injury, possibly edging towards Christmas. Lee Nichols is ruled out until mid-late December. We've now got elbow ligament injury, and Radinho Balfour is expected to be out until around the new year with that fractured ankle he picked up in the pre-season. But he's back in light individual training apparently. But Joshua says, beat Helix being trained is a massive boost. Yeah, no, it is. It's massive, isn't it? Absolutely. So, we definitely need him at the back. We have missed him massively. You know how much of a big player he is for us. So, that's me. So, yeah. But look, time to predict our starting 11s. Let me know who you would like to see start on Saturday afternoon, and I would love to read a few of your lineups out. But for now, let me show you mine. One moment. So here is my lineup for Saturday. So here we are. Jacob Chapman comes back in goal, of course. After Maxwell played last week, I think Chapman should be starting ahead of him, based on what we saw last week. And I just think Chapman has done well, to be fair. So yeah, he definitely starts. Back three of Longvike, Leeds, and Pearson, pretty standard, isn't it? Not really anybody else that could potentially come in that I feel will. To me, this is our best back three at the moment. The wing backs, Miller and Spencer, and then the midfield three of Kasumu, Kane, and Wiles. And then up front, I have said that I'd like to see Josh Corona start. I think, like I said, it's not like it's been a muscle injury. It's not like it's been a really serious injury that he's picked up. To me, I know he's been out for a few weeks with a back injury, but I do think Corona, after a further week in training, I think he's ready to start personally. Even if we get about 60 minutes out of him, just start the game. If he needs to come off, then that's understandable. But win the game, and then you can come off and have your rest. You know what I mean? So, and needs must. We need to win this game to keep in contention of that top two, if we're being brutally honest here. And Callum Marshall, of course, really done well since coming to the club, and I really like what I've seen of him. So, yeah, for me, he definitely starts. So, yeah. Um, let's see what everybody else is saying then. So, Blue Terrier has gone for Chapman in goal. Of course, you've got back three of Longvike, Leeds, and Pearson. Two wing backs, Miller and Spencer. And then, of course, Kane and Kasumu in the middle with Wiles as well, further forward. And then JK Marshall up front. So you've gone for Crum as well. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I just think he will it will be good to see him back. And I just think, as well, the pace that those two have up front in Marshall and Koroma, there really will be a big problem for their defence, especially when they've been leaking goals left, right, and centre. Let's guard and let's test the keeper as well. Let's get the deliveries into the box, on point, and let's attack the ball when it comes in. You know what I mean? And yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But for me, my score prediction, and let me know your score prediction, guys. I think that we will win this game, but just not going to be easy. I think we're going to win this game by 2-1. Goals from Koroma and Marshall. Probably the very two obvious choices to score, but I do think that I always seem to feel like I can back Marshall to score because he really does provide the threat in our team, and I think Corona, we know what Corona is about, and plus obviously he had a very good start to the season before he got injured, so he's been scoring a couple of goals as well. So yeah, that's my score prediction. What do you think the score is going to be? Let me know down below in the chat. Um, But look, it is, it's a game that is always a potential kind of a game that we can easily slip up in because, as I said, we have to go in with the right mentality and the right attitude because we're not just going to turn up and win. Crawley, will provide a difficult game despite their difficult stats this season. They've shown on the day that they can beat teams. Like I said earlier, Lincoln, they beat Lincoln. And so, 3-0 at home. So it's no mean feat. But I do think it is going to be a game where I know they like the ball, but I would like to think that we just edge the possession because we also like the ball. And but yeah, that's kind of it really. I thought it was interesting though what was said in the press conference today, to be fair, because obviously Wiles spoke to the media. And the thing is for me is but let me know your score predictions as well, guys, in the chat if you want to get involved. Um but it sounds like there's been a few harsh words this week, in the training, covering obviously last week's game, and a few harsh truths of be analysing the game a little bit, throughout the week. And um, it's it is something that we cannot allow to happen again with that level of performance. But we will see. We will need to see a reaction because if we don't, if the worst comes to worst and we don't win this weekend, then we really will put a down on it. And of course, we don't know. We don't know if the game next week is going ahead with the Wickham game because it depends on the international call-ups. Obviously, because we've had a few injuries, um, obviously Hodge is not going on international duty because he's injured, so that rules one player out. Koroma, obviously, just coming back from injury, so will he be called up? So it's a bit uncertain about next week, but we don't want to be, if it is an international break, we don't want to be going into the international break with a defeat. I just think it's massive that we pick up all 3 points. Um, so, well, yeah, look at the table. So we are currently 7th place at the moment, 22 points, 1 point off 6. Currently, at the moment, we are actually 7 points off second. So the gap is extending. So we do need to be getting a hold of that and, to me, and closing that gap. And there will be no excuses if we don't this weekend because we really need to put things right. And yeah, like I said, we have done what. To be fair, we have been doing fairly well in the league, haven't we? And to be honest with you, they we won 3 out of the last 4 games, and even the game that we lost, and it was even the game that we drew. Sorry, it was against Wrexham, so it was a good point there. So yeah, so let's hope we can continue that form in the league. But yeah, I don't think there's anything really else to say this evening, to be honest with you, unless anybody has any questions or any more contributions. But yeah, it's been a very short one this evening, which I don't always like to have. I mean, we could have a look at the. Oh my goodness! Don't it annoy you when you go on something and a video comes up? We could have a look at the quotes. Duff, a few things that Duff said today, if you like. And to be fair, it was a relatively short press conference too today. To be honest with you, there wasn't too many questions asked um, for the manager. But yeah, no, I think we're gonna kind of leave it there. To be honest with you, I think we've kind of run our course in this. I'm not gonna keep going on for no reason. Um, but yeah, let's hope we can win this weekend. We definitely need it, and it's a long trip as well, isn't it? So fans that are over there deserve it. And obviously, I would have done a watch along this weekend, but obviously it's not on television, so I'm not able to do that. Um, so we'll think about content over the next few days. Obviously, there'll be a review show to the game, um, and a few other bits and pieces in the near future too. But can't really think at the top of my head right now. But look, thank you all for watching. I know it's been a short one, but it's been a bit of a quiet one in the chat as well this evening too, so it's not really allowed the stream to get a bit further on as I would have liked it to done, but is what it is. Make sure you do drop a like on the video, as I said, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and you can now join my membership if you would like to do so. You can join by clicking the join button down below, or there is a link in the pinned in the chat and the pinned messages at the top of the chat as well. So would really mean a lot to me if you could help me out and help the community grow on here. But yeah, anyway, have a good rest of the evening, whatever you get up to, guys, and I will see you very soon. Fingers crossed this weekend. Safe journey to everyone that is making the trip down to West Sussex this weekend. But yeah, as always, thanks all for your support and up the town. See you later, guys. Take care.